look at this day in December, 40 degrees. There is a forecast later this afternoon, early evening, of some snow flurries. Ideal for these playoff conditions. Steelers have to win, or probably will be out. John Harbaugh's Ravens know that if they win today and win again next week at Oakland, they are in the playoffs. Mike Tomlin, already the youngest coach ever to win the Super Bowl. His team is ready, and so are we, as here's a kickoff by Billy Cundiff. Stefan Logan, a yard deep. The little man that played in the Canadian Football League a year ago. He squirts his way out close to the 30-yard line. Running back is Rashard Mendenhall, the second-year runner from Illinois. He's just 22 yards away from 1,000. And Big Ben comes out throwing and then scrambling to the sidelines and throws it away.
Roethlisberger's pass, careful, Wallace incomplete.
Lots of chatter on the line of scrimmage. Hines Ward in motion. Big Ben over the middle, complete. Hines Ward, first down at the 41. The Baltimore defense, 3-4 base. Last week, making up for Reed's absence, Dominique Foxworth had a couple of interceptions in the win against Chicago. Mendenhall's first carry, and he plows for 3. Jarrett Johnson, the tackle. Ed Reed, not in uniform, and neither is Troy Polamalu. And when you think about it, Bob Sanders of the Indianapolis Colts, the 3 outstanding strong safeties in the league are all on the injured list.
Yeah, Ed Reed gave it a go before the game, tried to work out that bad groin and bad foot, and just couldn't get it in shape to play. And of course, Polamalu was ruled out yesterday.
He did run in a straight line, according to his coach Tomlin, and that's encouraging that should the Steelers make the playoffs, he'll be ready. And there's a big hole for Mendenhall, and he's into Baltimore territory, and a first down at the 48 before Ray Lewis can drag him down.
Yeah, this is where you want to attack the Ravens because of their team speed. You go between the tackles here, and Mendenhall with a good job of getting behind Foster, the rookie out of Tennessee, with a good block coming over on Dannell Ellerbe.
Ellerbe playing because Tavares Gooden, the normal starter at that backer position, is injured with a groin. David Johnson now in the backfield, the tight end, as a blocker. Roethlisberger over the middle, wide open, and another first down for the Steelers. Hines Ward, couple of catches for Ward, the veteran here on the opening drive. He leads as per usual in receptions, 85 now on the season.
885 in his great career. Working against Carr, you can expect the Steelers to go after Carr. He's filling in, of course, for Lardarius Webb, who was injured last week. So Carr will get a lot of balls thrown in his direction.
4-time Pro Bowler Hines Ward, Super Bowl MVP. The Steeler team, as you well know, 2 wide receivers, both winning the Super Bowl Most Valuable Player award. Mendenhall now boxed in and dropped for a loss. The first negative play for the Steelers on this drive. It was Kelly Gregg, the 6-footer, 315-pounder from Oklahoma. He is number 4 in tackles on this team.
And this is his 56th on the year. You can see he was blocked originally, but the play on the entire line, just holding the Steelers at the line of scrimmage, that allowed Gregg to come off his block and make the tackle for a yard loss.
Second down, 11. With Ward in motion, the fake to Mendenhall. Roethlisberger throws to Mendenhall, but overshoots him into the flat. That went offline. Mendenhall didn't look as if he thought he was going to get the ball. He was looking one way, and his quarterback threw the other.
Yeah, that was uncharacteristically off target for Roethlisberger, because Mendenhall was wide open, and Roethlisberger really didn't have any pressure on him. Ball just got away from him.
Third down, 11. Let's see what defensive call the Ravens will use here. Will they bring a backer and put some pressure on Big Ben? Lewis stepping up into the line. He doesn't count. 4-man rush. The throw to the sideline, incomplete to Mike Wallace, the star of the victory last week as he made that tiptoe catch in the end zone on the last play of the game. Frank Walker on the coverage, and out comes the punting unit.
Really good route there by Mike Wallace. The ball again, that's 2 passes in a row where Roethlisberger has missed a wide open receiver, but Wallace did beat Walker to the sideline and had yardage for first down.
Daniel Sepulveda from Baylor sends a high rocket, and a fair catch called by Chris Carr. Roethlisberger studies the photos from that opening drive. Joe Flacco brings his white uniformed Ravens out of the huddle at the 13-yard line. First possession for Baltimore, and the give is to Ray Rice, and they're waiting for him. Rice, no gain, stacked up on that right side. Gain of a yard on first down. McLean and Rice stacked up behind Flacco. Flacco's first pass, and it's not close as Derek Mason, the intended receiver, had slipped at the sidelines. Going long is Flacco, and that ball intercepted as it flip-flopped out of his hands, and James Farrior, the veteran, has it all the way down inside the 10-yard line.
I think Lamar Woodley came in on the blitz, and he hit Flacco's arm as he was trying to go deep. Ball just fluttered in the air where Farrior could make a fair catch. Ball was so high and so soft in the air. Left side of the screen is Woodley, and he pushes back into Michael Orr, and that's why the ball comes out as it did. Farrior almost gets to the end zone. As it is, they'll mark the ball at the 8-yard line. Great pressure by Lamar Woodley, something he's done all year long.
Farrier's first interception this year, his 11th career interception, and then that's a rare feat for this Pittsburgh team. They have only a total of 9 interceptions all year. Been part of their problem. They've not gotten field position like this on a turnover as often as in the past. First and goal. Mendenhall. After a yard, he is greeted by Frank Walker off the left corner.
Yeah, Mike Tomlin talked to us yesterday about splash plays. That's his term for turnovers, sacks, for momentum building plays, and in that case, momentum changing plays.
He got a splash from the veteran captain, James Farrior. He's leading in tackles again this year with over 100. Shotgun now for Ben. Plenty of time. Now he lobs it incomplete through the hands of Mendenhall. Looked as if he should have tucked that one away.
He had about 5 seconds to read the entire field. Mendenhall obviously was the outlet receiver. That ball should have been caught. Would have been a touchdown for Pittsburgh. Ball went right through the hands of Richard Mendenhall. And it wasn't fired too hard either. That was a very catchable ball by Roethlisberger.
So third and goal from the 7. Spread formation. 2 wide receivers to the right, 2 to the left. Almost offside. No flag on the play. The throw by Roethlisberger almost intercepted. As Dominique Foxworth, off his 2 picks last week, up with a one-handed try, knocks it away. Intended for Santonio Holmes.
And Roethlisberger thought that Antoine Barnes was in the neutral zone and that he did not get back. Here he is right here. Watch as he jumps across, gets back. Roethlisberger thought he was in the neutral zone, but this ball should have been intercepted by Foxworth. Got one hand on it, couldn't bring it back to his body.
26-yard field goal attempt by the 8-year veteran from North Carolina, Jeff Reed. And the kick is good. Pittsburgh takes the lead off Farrier's interception. Jalen Parmalee deep. He's the 2nd-year runner from the University of Toledo. As Reed pounds it end over end short. Parmalee at the 9. Up the middle and right into the arms of the Steelers special teams at the 27-yard line. Flacco and the Ravens 3-0 down to Pittsburgh early. On first down, it's Ray Rice running into a blocker, breaking tackles as he has all season long, out across the 40-yard line to the 43 before Ryan Clark, the safety, can bring him down.
He stepped right out of the arms of Lawrence Timmons right as he got to the line of scrimmage. Good vision to cut back to the left side. He sees the hole right there. There's the missed tackle by Timmons, and that's a big gain on first down for the Ravens.
16 yards on the play. That pushes Rice over the 1,800 scrimmage yards mark for this season. He's got his eyes on 2,000. Said that was a goal before the season began. Flacco play action. Here comes Harrison. He able to get away from him and throws the ball away. So he saves the sack as James Harrison, the defensive player of the year a year ago, has 10 sacks, nearly his 11th on that. We may see some corner blitzes. Townsend very efficient at just that. Give to Rice straight ahead. A yard or two. Lawrence Timmons in the middle of that Pittsburgh defense with a tackle.
We go back one play to the missed sack by James Harrison. It was questionable whether he could even play today. He hurt his bicep in practice on Thursday, and it appeared that he just didn't have the strength to wrap up Joe Flacco and bring him down because of that sore arm.
Boy, a couple of great seasons back to back for Harrison. That wonderful 100-yard interception return for touchdown against Arizona in the Super Bowl. And he's followed up this year with 10 sacks and 4 forced fumbles. Third and a long 8 for Flacco. Throws underneath, complete. Derek Mason, the veteran, ducks inside the 45 with a first down. William Gay in on the coverage, and for Mason, that's going to push him past the 11,000 yard mark in receptions career.
And this formation allowed Mason to work in the middle against Deshae Townsend. Earlier in the game, he was being guarded and shadowed by Ike Taylor, the outstanding corner for Pittsburgh.
Mason, one of only 22 in NFL history to reach 11,000 yards in receptions. On first down, Flacco goes deep down the sideline. Wide open is Kelly Washington, and Washington with a twisting catch at the 17-yard line. First down, Baltimore.
Washington, who didn't play last week against Chicago, the bad ankle. Look at this adjustment to the ball. Fingertip catch, gets down inbounds. Superb catch by Kelly Washington. Being guarded by Tyrone Carter, and that's a mismatch the Ravens will love to see all day long.
27-yard play. Flacco to Kelly Washington, his 32nd catch this year. Washington. So the Ravens threaten to score for the first time. Rice stutters and unable to get to full speed down to the 16-yard line. And this Heinz Stadium crowd chanting defense on second down and 9 at the 16. Rice. Big hole, and he ducks inside the 10 down to the 9-yard line, short of a first down by about 1.5 yards.
He talked about his goal of 2,000 yards from scrimmage, averaging 128 yards. That's number 2 in the NFL, behind the great running back from the Tennessee Titans, Chris Johnson. But what a weapon Ray Rice is, especially this part of the field inside the red zone. Very dangerous on the dump off routes from Joe Flacco.
We consider 73 catches for Rice to lead all running backs in the league, averaging over 9 per catch. Those are long handoffs. Flacco throws inside, incomplete. Demetrius Williams on the near side, ball behind him. So out comes the field goal unit for Baltimore, and after a substantial drive, they stall inside the 10, just as the Steelers were unable to convert after the interception by Ferrier. Out to kick it, Billy Cundiff joined the Ravens at midseason, replacing Steve Hauschka after Hauschka missed that 44-yard field goal in Minnesota that cost the Ravens a very crucial win. 27 yards on the attempt. And he splits it. Back in Pittsburgh, and the Steeler fans and the Ravens looking for a playoff spot. Baltimore the simplest way. If they win today, win next week, they're in the playoffs. But there are the other options for the Ravens if they get help. Jacksonville or the Jets losing, as well as Denver. Fans back in Baltimore rooting against those teams. Could happen today as Cundiff sends his right foot into it, and Stefan Logan brings it back for the Steelers. And he's got room now at the 40. Finally caught from behind at the 47-yard line of the Ravens. A 5'6" Stefan Logan has now set an all-time Pittsburgh record for kickoff return yardage in a season with that 49-yard return to the 47 of Baltimore. And here comes Roethlisberger. Steps away from pressure. And now protecting the ball is tackled at the line of scrimmage, so there won't be a sack. Kelly Gregg invaded the backfield of the Steelers.
Go back to the kickoff return. Watch this huge lane from the very start. And then the block by Kieron Fox here, number 57. And that's just a chasm here as finally Logan gets to it and all the way into Raven territory. But that's really poor coverage by the Ravens kickoff coverage team, leaving a big hole from the very start.
Big Ben able to scramble forward and avoid the sack. Picks up a yard at 2nd and 9. Willie Parker in the game for the first time for the Steelers. And Ben gets away, now throws it away. No, it's to Wallace, and he makes the catch. Mike Wallace, a leaping catch, and it's a first down at the 36.
A lot of smiles out of these fans. They've seen this act so many times from Roethlisberger. In fact, the Ravens have too. It was a pass like this in the championship game last year to Santonio Holmes. Ball thrown up for grabs. Wallace comes down with it out of bounds in front of Frank Walker. But this is just the strength and a whole lot of luck involved in that completion.
Donnell Ellerbe was right on the shirt tail of Roethlisberger. Couldn't bring him down. First down at the 35, a 3-3 tie, late opening quarter. Willie Parker. 30, 25, first down at the 22. DeJuan Landry with a tackle. All right, so many games around the country, implications for the playoffs, and we'll be in tune. We'll be going to New York for updates throughout our doubleheader afternoon on this Sunday. Plenty of action ahead here on CBS. Mendenhall now in. Mendenhall pushing forward to the 20-yard line, a gain of 2. Here it's 2nd down and 8. Mendenhall behind Roethlisberger. Big Ben to throw. Runs into his own man, and Kelly Gregg shoots through to sack him. And Gregg has had a big first quarter. That's the 3rd time he's been in the backfield of the Steelers. No, it's Nada. It was Gregg that started it, and Nada, Haloti Nada, finished the job, and he is just too much to handle. Look at him barrel through the blockers.
Oh, and he just takes Mendenhall right by him. In fact, Mendenhall was the bug on the windshield that time. The car, of course, Haloti Ngata, the world's biggest duck right there.
Oregon Duck indeed in his 4th year. That's his first full sack of the season. Had only a half a sack coming in. He sacked half of the team. Now 3rd and long for Big Ben. He dumps it off to his tight end, Heath Miller, and Miller tackled forward to the 21-yard line. Chris Carr with the stop, and out comes Jeff Reed and the field goal unit for Pittsburgh.
And that brings Reed into a lot closer field goal try. This is the most difficult, or the more difficult end of the field for field goal tries. It's been a kicker's nightmare, but Reed has been here a long time. He knows the way the wind blows.
Took him forever to kick one 50 yards here in this stadium, especially going in this direction. But this one will be 39 yards, well within his range. He's missed only 4 all year, 22 of 26. This one is just inside the right upright. Jalen Parmalee awaits to return. Parmalee being used more and more. They like the speed of this young guy. From the 1. Gets outside and then dragged down at the 23-yard line. Well, Dan Fouts You've been in this position late in the season. You battle all the way in the heat of summer through to the cold of winter, and now every play is so important.
Every play and every point. We've already seen a couple of field goals in this ball game, but the most important thing in this game is going to be turnovers. We saw how the defense of the Ravens rose up after the Flacco interception, but any more interceptions or fumbles really will be the key.
Ravens at their own 23 to start this sequence. Todd Heap, the tight end, in motion. They pick off Carter, who's coming on a safety blitz, and the throw is well off the field of play, intended for Derek Mason. 2nd and 10 for Flacco. He throws it to Rice, but too low, incomplete. Look at the NFC playoff picture. New Orleans, Minnesota, Philadelphia, Arizona, the division leaders, and the wild card Green Bay and Dallas at 9-5, and the Giants at 8-6, certainly in the hunt.
Last two plays defensively for the Steelers. Their great coordinator Dick LeBeau has decided to bring Tyrone Carter on the blitz. He has hurried Flacco into 2 poor throws.
Carter playing for the injured Troy Polamalu. Down to 2 on the play clock, and Flacco from the shotgun, and a flag down. That'll be a false start against the Ravens.
False start. Number 64 of the offense. 5-yard penalty still. 3rd down.
That's O'Neal Cousins. He's taking the place of Jared Gaither. In fact, he was the man who was rushed by Lamar Woodley that caused the interception earlier in the ball game. 2 mistakes now for O'Neal Cousins.
And this partisan crowd in Pittsburgh, its noise helping to create that false start. 3rd and 15. And they go to Rice on a draw. And he's stacked up at the 21-yard line, well short of the first down. Lamar Woodley and others in on the tackle, and 3 and out for the Ravens and the punting team on the field.
Now this definitely has a defensive flavor to it with these 2 traditionally strong defensive football teams. Field position going to be vital this afternoon for both teams. Which team's going to blink on special teams? We've already seen Logan with a good kickoff return. Now he gets a punt return try.
Sam Cook to kick it for the Ravens, averaging over 44 yards a punt. And Logan, who played last year for the BC Lions in the Canadian Football League, and this is a bad kick. And it's going to go out of bounds way short of the intent of Cook, who is so reliable. And the Steelers are going to have the ball as they mark it along the sidelines at about the 43-yard line of the Ravens, a 21-yard punt.
You know, it was a high snap by Matt Catula. Catula's got tendonitis in his right elbow. That ball came high, and that will throw a punter's timing off. In fact, his drop of the ball was way too far out in front. He barely got the ball with his toes. You want to obviously kick it with the top of your foot, but I think it was the high snap from Catula that threw Cook off.
That's almost like a turnover to get the ball at the 43 without a return. Steelers leading 6-3. 3 seconds remaining in this opening quarter. Roethlisberger, a little flanker screen out to Holmes, and Santonio Holmes along the sidelines, finally pushed out of bounds at the 30-yard line by DeJuan Landry, and that's the end of the opening quarter. 21-yard punt, so bring out a dour look from a kicker.
Yeah, but he's not giving up on his snapper, though. He's sitting right next to him. Not a whole lot of conversation, though.
Steelers taking advantage of that at the Baltimore 43, and then the first down pass and run by Santonio Holmes. And Roethlisberger and the Steelers open this second quarter with a first down just outside the Ravens 30-yard line, leading 6-3. Dick Enberg and Dan Fouts here along the banks of the Ohio. Mendenhall. And he slices his way down to the 25-yard line for a gain of 5. Ray Lewis, another tackle.
And you go back to the catch and run by Santonio Holmes. He got a great block on the perimeter by Heath Miller. Miller came in motion and cut down the defensive back, and that gave Holmes that long gain down the sidelines. But what a A couple of talented tight ends we've got here today, and Todd Heap and Heath Miller.
Mendenhall, and he's stacked up, and Ray Lewis along with DeJuan Landry and Haloti Ngata in on that tackle. Speaking of tight ends, Heap and Heath for these two teams, and both very productive. Heap less and less catches and more blocking for him, Dan.
Well, especially today, he knows that he's going to be looking at a couple of pretty good pass rushers in Lamar Woodley and James Harrison, so he may not get as many catches today, but the blocking obviously important.
Here's a key 3rd and 3 for the Steelers in field goal range, but looking for more. Roethlisberger. Incomplete. A flag down, however, as Hines Ward, the intended receiver, and Chris Carr didn't turn to look for the ball. So when Hines did turn for the catch, he was bumped into by Carr.
Yeah, veteran move by
Pass
Hines
interference.
Ward.
Number 25 of the defense. Automatic first down.
But whenever a defensive back has his back to the quarterback, you can count on the quarterback giving his receiver a chance here. Watch it. Hines Ward has a chance at a touchdown here if the ball is thrown a little bit farther. As it is, he got one hand on the ball and almost reeled it in around the back of Chris Carr.
So an 18-yard interference call gives the home team Steelers a 1st and goal at the 5-yard line. David Johnson moves into the backfield as a blocker in front of Mendenhall. Mendenhall up the middle, a yard, maybe a yard and a half. Touchdowns with these two tough defenses, the top 2 defenses in the league this year, as they have been for the last 10 years. So that's somewhat explains the 6-3 score. Touchdowns will be precious. Ed Reed frustrated, out of uniform, lingering injury. Mendenhall stays in. He drives up the middle, close to the goal line, and it's a touchdown, Pittsburgh. Rashard Mendenhall, his 7th rushing touchdown of the season as he goes over the 1,000-yard mark on the year.
And that's where he's had success the entire first half, right up the middle. He gets real close and then dives for the end zone. Question is, does he break the plane before his knee is down? Great effort. Tough to tell from that angle. The official on the far side of the field saw enough to signal touchdown.
Yeah, his knee doesn't hit the turf. It hits another player. So even though he was stretching out, it appeared that he might not have gotten the ball into the end zone as the knee touched, but it was touching another player. So the play remains alive. Following his famous father, Art Rooney, and Dan Rooney, now the U.S. ambassador to Ireland. Wonder if that's a little Irish stew that he's enjoying there. Great person and great attribute to this wonderful game of football. He is able to watch Steelers by satellite in Dublin as Reed kicks this one short. Parmalee at the 11-yard line for the Ravens. And he's out to the 30, still plowing to the 38-yard line. A good return for Jalen Parmalee. A big day, important day, playoff implications of football here on CBS. Flacco to the sidelines, and a sliding catch by Demetrius Williams, close to a 1st down at midfield. On 2nd and short. That big play did not fool anyone as Lawan McClain, the fullback, 25 years old today, and they defense blew out the candles on him on that one. He barely able to get to the 50-yard line, but that's enough for a 1st down as Woodley and Kiesel collaborated on the tackle. Ball just in Pittsburgh territory. Ray Rice. Boy, he gets out of the blocks quickly, doesn't he? A gain of 5. Second down and 6 for the Ravens, and Rice, the plow horse, the workhorse, close to a first down, shy of about a half yard. It'll be third down for the Ravens, trailing here in Pittsburgh 13-3.
That's 43 yards now rushing for Baltimore against this Pittsburgh Steelers defense. They're #1 in the NFL defending the run, giving up only 83 yards per game. So the Ravens and Ray Rice, and we just saw McClain pick up a key first down, getting the job done on the ground in this first half.
In fact, Rice in the first game between these two teams, 88 yards rushing, the most allowed by the Steelers this year. Rice gets more. Now he's in the open. Kicks free to the 30 and has a first down plus. Tyrone Carter makes the tackle.
The Steelers are crowding the line of scrimmage so much that he comes off the left side here. Todd Heap, the extra offensive lineman there. Chris Chester lines up as tight end. What a super job as Marshall Yonda comes over, makes a key block.
Now Flacco goes to the end zone for Williams, incomplete. With that run, previous run by Rice, he's at the half 100 mark here in the first half on 9 carries, 50 yards.
That's the second time in this drive that Flacco has targeted Demetrius Williams against Deshae Townsend. He hit him on a out route previously, so that sets up the out and up move by Williams, but good coverage by Townsend, and Flacco had to let the ball go long and out of the back of the end zone.
Second and 10 at the 30, down by 10 at the 10-minute mark, second quarter. In the executive offices of the Pittsburgh Steelers, boy, is that an impressive sight. You walk in, turn a corner, 6 of those babies. Evidence of the great success of this franchise. 6 Super Bowl titles. And they are the reigning champions and teetering on the brink of elimination, but still very much alive. They've got a pulse as Flacco throws, and it's caught by Heap, and the big tight end up high to grab the ball at the goal line. Touchdown. In front of Ryan Clark and Deshae Townsend, and we talked to Heap yesterday about his basketball skills, and so many tight ends use their bodies a la working in the post. Look at this play.
That's a beautiful rebound by Heap, and he gets in the end zone before Townsend can touch him down. Ball underthrown, and Heap, good coverage by Townsend, but Heap knows where the ball is, and he goes up and dunks it.
30 yards on the scoring play, and here's
no challenge by Pittsburgh. He may not have gotten in.
Cundiff adds the extra point. Too late now. So 61 yards and 7 plays engineered by Joe Flacco.
Back with the touchdown catch by Todd Heap. Deshae Townsend with his left hand makes contact with Heap before he gets into the end zone, but I don't think it's worth a challenge. The ball would just been on the half-yard line. Baltimore would have scored anyway.
So 13-10, Cundiff kicks it off to dangerous Stefan Logan. And here's the little man sprinting straight ahead. He's so much like Darren Sproles of the Chargers at 5'6", those feet just moving in a double speed pattern. Valuable member of this Ravens team now, Todd Heap, for 9 seasons out of Arizona State. He's the all-time pass catcher in Ravens history.
That gives a lot of credit to Shannon Sharp for teaching him the ropes when Shannon was with the Ravens.
13-10, Steelers with the ball and the lead. Roethlisberger into the flat to Hines Ward, and Ward bumped out of bounds. Mendenhall hit at the line of scrimmage, fumbles the ball, scrambles, and it looks like the Ravens. Ray Lewis is the man who fell on it. Baltimore ball.
Almost a touchdown for Baltimore, but it looked like Chris Carr couldn't scoop it up. Heads up by Ray Lewis. You knew he was not going to try to pick it up. He's going to do the smart thing, just fall on the ball. And it's Carr that makes the fumble. Actually, it's number 26 that had a shot, DeJuan Landry, who could have picked it up and scored with it. But give Chris Carr a lot of credit. Right here with his helmet, knocks the ball out of the left hand of Mendenhall. And there comes Ray Lewis, 52, for the recovery.
Talk about all those Super Bowl trophies. How about all the fumble recoveries of Ray Lewis in his career?
10 Pro Bowls worth.
First down on a big turnover at the 30-yard line. Ravens with a chance for the lead. Ray Rice hit hard outside, but he still gets yards after contact. He fumbles the ball, and Steelers have it back.
Ike Taylor's got it at the bottom of the pile. Back-to-back turnovers.
Ferrier appeared to hit him on the elbow, knocked it free as Rice went on a second effort for more yardage, and it cost the Ravens a fumble right back.
You know, both these running backs are second-year guys and not used to this intensity of this playoff type of game. Two costly mistakes by Mendenhall and now by Ray Rice, just trying to get extra yardage as that ball is stripped by James Harrison. Harrison with the right hand punches the ball out, and there's Ike Taylor with the scramble at the bottom of the pile.
And Harrison again, the man on the spot for the Steelers. He's forced his 5th fumble of the season. Now Roethlisberger faking the reverse, then throws back underneath, complete across the middle to Mendenhall. He's tackled at the 30 by Lewis. So back-to-back plays as they exchange fumbles, and the Steelers duck trouble as they get it right back.
Now the big thing about getting it right back is that the Ravens were a couple of yards away from being in the red zone, and with the field goal at least would have been able to tie this ball game up.
Oh, 13-10, Pittsburgh in the lead, 8.5 minutes to go before the intermission. Quick throw out to Santonio Holmes, and he's pushed out of bounds immediately by Dominique Foxworth on the near sideline, short of the first down. It'll be 3rd and 2.
You'd like to see Santonio Holmes give a little more resistance there when out of bounds, about 2 yards shy of the down marker. Good job by Foxworth to react quickly to push him out of bounds, but it seemed like Holmes went out of bounds much too easily.
Shot at James Harrison on the sidelines. Again, he produces the turnover for the Steelers as he has the last couple of years. Big they've been. Steelers are 0 for 3 on 3rd down in this first half. Here's 3rd and short. Roethlisberger going to scramble and then throws complete to Wallace. The speedy Mike Wallace from Ole Miss all the way to the 39-yard line. Looked as if Roethlisberger was going to scramble for the first down. He had it, but also saw Wallace, his fleet-footed wide receiver.
Nobody does it better than Ben Roethlisberger, extending the play, keeping his eyes down the field. Pumps to the right side. Now all of a sudden, what a gift he sees, and oh, what a catch by Wallace. Running at full speed, being able to reach behind him and snag the ball right out of the air. Huge play by Wallace.
Wallace with 4.28 speed, the rookie from Ole Miss, building in confidence with each catch. Here's Willie Parker, and Parker out to the 45-yard line, down to the 35, leading by 3. The Steelers at the 35-yard line, 2nd and 6. Roethlisberger over the middle, and it's incomplete to Heath Miller. Juggling try at the 25-yard line.
Well, it almost looked like the ball was tipped at the line of scrimmage, and that was why it went behind Heath Miller.
Coverage by Barr.
Third and 6. Under pressure and wrestled down by Antoine Barnes. Barnes' 2nd sack of the season. And you saw him. He wasn't going to just brush by and try to bring down Roethlisberger with one arm. He got a big old hold of Ben and just weighted him down.
Yeah, working against Willie Colon. Good move to the outside and then not giving up on the block. On the rush as Colon pushes him by the quarterback.
Punt down to Karn. He lets it go into the end zone. Steelers very nearly, Madison almost able to down it. The Ravens with the ball at the 20-yard line, trailing Pittsburgh 13-10. Flacco, the quick out is complete to Derek Mason, and Mason ducks out of bounds with the first down at the 35-yard line in front of Deshae Townsend. bad news for Steeler fans. They know that at 7-7, the Houston Texans, one of the teams that have the edge on Pittsburgh looking ahead to the playoffs, and the Texans are crushing Miami 27-0 in the first half.
That is a huge surprise. The Texans always been knocking at the door trying to get there.
First down at the 35. Give us to McLean, and the big fullback who rushed last year for 902 yards but hasn't gotten many carries this year. Go straight ahead. So the Steelers could be eliminated from the playoffs if they should lose and Jacksonville wins, or a loss and a Houston win and a New York Jets win. So there are a lot of complications yet, and you can go on and on of all the machinations of the playoffs with so many different scenarios, but you just have to take care of your own business, and you got to win, and that's Mike Tomlin with jaw heavily set here, hoping his defense can slow down the Baltimore Ravens. Again, it's McLean on the carry, and he's out to the 39-yard line. Ryan Clark comes up to make the tackle.
And the last two running plays for Baltimore, they've gone with 6 offensive linemen. Put Chris Chester in as the weak side tackle and slide O'Neal Cousins over to be alongside of Michael Orr.
McLean on a pair of carries picks up 9. You see Baltimore averaging over 5-yard a rush. That's very good against this tough Steeler defense. Now Ray Rice. Fake to Rice. The throw over the middle, complete to Mason, and a first down at the Steeler 45-yard line.
Boy, that play did not look right at all. It looked like as he was going back to pass that Flacco runs into Ray Rice right there.
Yeah.
Rice almost knocked him off his throwing motion, but that shows you the strength of Flacco. That was a good hard bullet to Derek Mason.
Mason, who came into the game with 65 catches and leading the team in 7 touchdowns, has 3 catches today and another first down at the 45 of the Steelers. 3-point game. Give this to McLean. Tries to churn forward. Gain of about 1.5 yards. Joe Flacco, in his second season out of Delaware, his numbers individually are all improved, although the team record is 3 games behind the 11-5 mark of the season ago.
Well, they had 4 very close losses this year. Had a problem with Hauschka missing field goals and then drop passes, but that's been the difference. 4 real close losses for the Ravens.
In fact, Baltimore 6 losses, 5 to first place teams, and Green Bay should make the playoffs. Throw underneath is to McLean, and Lamar Woodley right there to pound him down.
And that's something we haven't seen a lot from Flacco today, is the little dump off pass to Ray Rice. That time McLean got the reception, but Rice has been so valuable to the quarterback and to this offense. Coming into the game with 73 receptions, and so far today Rice without a catch.
The towels are a-waving on 3rd and a long 6. Rice in motion. Flacco driven down on the sack as Ike Taylor, the cornerback, came through freely. And that's the Blitzburg that these fans love so dearly.
First sack of the season for Taylor. Here he is right here on the corner blitz. Great job of design by Dick LeBeau. You can see there's just nobody there to block Taylor. Ravens did not expect this blitz to come and bring down their quarterback. Taylor with the fumble recovery on the previous possession picks up a sack now.
There's the defensive coordinator, Dick LeBeau, one of the candidates for the Hall of Fame, a senior candidate along with Floyd Little. And it's curious as to why LeBeau isn't already in Canton. He was one of the great cornerbacks. He started 171 games for the Lions in a row. He had 62 career interceptions. He's been in the league 50 years, 36 years of coaching. Weldy Moore lets the ball go, and it'll be down at the 6-yard line by the Ravens as Sam Cook planting that one carefully. Interesting to see how Pittsburgh plays it here deep in their own end at the 6-yard line, leading by 3. 2 minutes to go. Each team with 2 timeouts. Noeldi Moore in the backfield with Roethlisberger. There's a throw, almost intercepted as Terrell Suggs was right in the path pattern, and he almost nailed that pass for a score.
Yeah, heads up by Terrell Suggs. He quickly saw Roethlisberger with 1 step and a throw out to the outside, trying to get the ball to Santonio Holmes, and he would have crawled into the end zone with that one.
Suggs nicknamed Sizzle, and he would have been red hot if he picks that one off for an easy score.
There he is again.
Stays in the shotgun. Roethlisberger hands it off to Noeldi Moore, and he is caught in the backfield for a loss. And we'll see if the Ravens call time here.
I think that'd be a good idea. They got great field position. It's 3rd down coming up.
They haven't called it yet. That was not in the backfield to make the play.
Well, I tell you, this is interesting that John Harbaugh is not going to call a timeout. He's got 2 to work with, and great field position. They're going to get the ball back.
They could have called time at 1:45. Now it's down to 1:25. Now in the backfield lineup is Roethlisberger. Figures that this isn't going to be a pass but a handoff, and they drew the offside, and now Roethlisberger, a free play going deep for Wallace, and he's got it out at the 50-yard line. Frank Walker, the defender, from his own end zone. Roethlisberger knew he had a free play as the Ravens had jumped offside.
Working against
Offside.
Frank Walker. It's a free play, as you said, Dick.
Penalty will be declined. 1st down.
And now the field flips. And with 2 timeouts, the Steelers are in business here.
45 yards on that throw by Roethlisberger on 3rd and long from inside his 5. Wallace becoming an increasing threat for this Steeler offense. So fast. Throw deep down the middle. Complete. Tight end Heath Miller. And Miller tackled at the 33-yard line as the Heath chorus rises out of the stands here in Pittsburgh. Target line for Jeff Reed is right where the ball rests, the 32-yard line, going in this direction. That'd make it about a 50-yard field goal attempt. Plenty of time. 54 seconds left in the half. And Roethlisberger working his magic in the final minute, 2 minutes of a half. Goes to the side, and it's caught by Hines Ward. A tough catch, but he's made many of those. Down to the 24-yard line.
Nice working against N.L. Ellerby. Left foot in, right foot in, catch secured. Another big play by Hines Ward, but how about finding Ward being guarded by an inside linebacker?
Out of bounds to stop the clock. 49 seconds.
Roethlisberger
is over 4,000 yards with that throw. First time ever in Steeler history. Past Terry Bradshaw as the all-time passer in the season earlier this year. Pump fake. Throw on the run. Throws it away. Just to go back to complete another number of significance for this Pittsburgh offense, with Heath Miller catching 2 passes today, that gives him 70 for the year. It's the first time in team history they've got 3 receivers with 70 catches or more. Miller joining Hines Ward and Santonio Holmes over 70.
And then you've got to the rookie Mike Wallace averaging 18 yards a carry coming into today's game, and he's got 3 catches for 83 yards in the first half.
This is the 4th best average in the league, Wallace, at 18 a catch. 3rd and 2. Roethlisberger, the quick throw, and wide open is Holmes. Santonio Holmes. Touchdown. The flag is down. Touchdown is the call.
Yeah, if you blitz the quarterback like Roethlisberger, you better get to him. That time Dominique Foxworth came on the corner blitz. That left Santonio Holmes all by himself. Big Ben saw it.
Personal foul. Face mask. Number 28 in defense. The touchdown is good. The penalty will be enforced on the kickoff.
Santonio Holmes, the star of last year's Super Bowl, last season. Super Bowl has his 4th touchdown this year.
There goes Foxworth at the quarterback. Roethlisberger saw him, and then the running skills of Santonio Holmes. What a drive. Over 95 yards for that score at the end of the first half. Vintage Roethlisberger.
Oh, he's like a different quarterback the last 2 minutes of the half. Here's Reed for the point after. Well, the drive started at the 6-yard line, but then they had a loss of 3 yards, so they had to go 97 yards. It was 94 yards in 7 plays, but really it was 97 yards in 5 plays because it was a 3rd down pass out of the end zone by Roethlisberger from the 3-yard line that started the drive for another 7 Steeler points, and they easily kicks this one through the end zone. No time expiring, so 35 seconds for the Ravens as they'll get the ball at the 20.
Here comes the blitz. That's Dominique Foxworth, and he's not going to get anywhere near Roethlisberger as he reads it. DeJuan Landry misses, and then Zbikowski late, and Holmes into the end zone for Roethlisberger. Another touchdown pass. That's 23 on the season, and in the first half, 13 of 21 for 191 yards and that huge drive. Remember, he saw the free play on that 3rd down and got the big pass play down the field to the rookie Mike Wallace.
Ravens have 2 timeouts. Give it to Ray Rice for 5 to the 25. Well, through the years, going back to the Steel Curtain days and the Pittsburgh Super Bowl successes of the '70s, we always talk defense, but this year it's the offense of this Pittsburgh team. They've got a 4,000-yard passer, a 1,000-yard rusher in Mendenhall, a pair of 1,000-yard receivers in Holmes and Ward, all in the same season. That's never happened in Steeler history. The Ravens using their 2nd timeout, 1 remaining, as the sun brightly shining here across the way, and John Harbaugh's Ravens stunned by that Roethlisberger drive in so little time. A 3-point game becomes a 10-point deficit for the Ravens on the arm of Roethlisberger.
And the splash play for Mike Tomlin and the Steelers was the Ravens jumping off sides, giving Roethlisberger a free bomb to throw to Mike Wallace.
That's a 45-yard play. Back to Ray Rice. Tackled from behind, gets the 1st down at the 32. And the final timeout is exercised by the Ravens with 18 seconds left in the half. There's Cundiff's target line going the other way. They'd need to get to around the 30-31 yard line.
Take a look at Terrell Suggs, and this was moments ago when he could have been the hero if he could have latched on to that quick pass that Roethlisberger tried to throw on 1st down. If he would have made that catch, what a different story we'd be talking about now.
Suggs from the 5-yard line had his hands on that little flat pass. Flacco, no timeouts, throws deep and knocked down on the far side by Ike Taylor, intended for Derek Mason. Taylor avoids a fumble recovery and a sack, almost with a pick as well. Isn't it something, this Pittsburgh Steeler defense? They don't have 1 interception by a cornerback all year.
Well, that's good. Reason why. Watch the ball hit Taylor in both his hands. Mason really had nothing to do with the ball hitting the ground. Troy Polamalu leads the Steelers, having missed so many games this season with 3 interceptions. But that is weird, though, to have no interceptions by your corners, especially a talented one like Ike Taylor.
One today by linebacker Ferrier is only the 9th total interception this year. Ray Rice trying to get him into an open area, but with no timeouts left, that'll be it for this first half, as the Steelers again get that late touchdown at the end of a half, and they leave the field with a 20-10 advantage. There are the numbers in the first half, as they're not that lopsided in favor of the Steelers, as the Ravens have rushed for more yards, but it's Pittsburgh passing game, and nothing more illustrative of that success than that final drive with 3 big passes from Big Ben. that led to the Santonio Holmes touchdown and a 10-point lead at the intermission. Again, Baltimore, if they win their final 2 games, this game included, will make it into the playoffs. But the Steelers trying to wedge their way into the playoff picture with a victory today to move even in wins and losses 8 and 7 each, should Pittsburgh come away with the victory this afternoon. Mason and Ward, the 2 golden oldies for these 2 teams as wide receivers, both a factor. Jalen Parmalee and Baltimore will get the ball first here in the second half. And of course, John Harbaugh's team, knowing that they've got to try to get something on the board early here to rebuild some momentum. They've been a good second half team, but not when they're down at halftime. 0-5 when trailing going into the second half.
The amazing thing about the turnovers, with Pittsburgh getting 2, they only could turn those 2 turnovers into 3 points, but there was other mistakes by the Ravens that cost them in that first half.
The Ravens have scored more points than anyone in the league in the third quarter, 113. Here's Parmalee. Some daylight out across the 30, 35-yard line. So this second half begins for Baltimore at the 36-yard line. Ray Rice behind quarterback Joe Flacco. Fires over the middle to Mason, and he's close to the first down, about 9 on the pickup at the 45. Deshae Townsend, the tackler.
No, it was good recognition by Flacco, good execution, got back quickly. He knew the blitz was coming again. Again, it was Tyrone Carter from his blind side, but getting the ball out that quickly has been a big difference for Flacco this season.
It's the final division game for these 2 teams. That's where Pittsburgh has trouble with the head-to-heads going to the wild card. They're 1-4 within the division this year. It's McLean on short yardage, as has been his pattern throughout the year, and he delivers again. Didn't need much. Got a couple in the first down at the 47. There is the wild card picture. Baltimore's 8-6 advantage in jeopardy here, down by 10. Jacksonville losing by a couple of touchdowns against New England. Miami getting belted, so they're apparently going to go 7-8. And Houston's the team that's moving up, 8-7. Gary Kubiak's Texans finally living up to their expectations. Rice, 45-40, and he stumbles as he hit that 40-yard line trying to make another move to the outside. Nevertheless, a solid run before Ryan Clark can down him.
And it's off the left side of the offensive line. Todd Heap, the tight end there, number 86. And Michael Orr, number 74, with the big block. And Rice's legs just going so fast. The block on James Harrison by Heap, and you can see Orr seal off the inside.
85 yards for Rice today. He had 88 in the first game. No 100-yard rusher allowed by the Steelers in a couple 3 seasons, but they're close now as Rice again storms through a hole and then stacked up at the 33-yard line. Ike Taylor got there first.
Yeah, it has been a real long time, 32 games that the Steelers have not given up that 100-yard rusher. Cam Cameron trying to figure that out, as Rice now 91 yards on 15 carries.
Last opponent to rush for 100 yards, Jacksonville's Fred Taylor, 32 games ago. Impressive drive to open this second half for the Ravens, and it's back to Rice. And he moves the pile inside the 30-yard line. LaMarr Woodley and company in on the stop. Woodley from Saginaw, Michigan. Went to the University of Michigan, where he won almost all the big defensive awards as a collegiate senior. The Ted Hendricks Award, the Lombardi Award. As the #1 run defense with the Wolverines. Woodley spearheading that. Picked in the second round by the Steelers 3 years ago. And Flacco and the Ravens having trouble getting set on this play. Opening drive of the second half. 3rd down and 1 for the Ravens at the 29. And it's Ray Rice. And he fights his way easily for the first down to the 26-yard line.
Well, that's just good power football. Again, the Ravens come in with an extra offensive lineman. Chris Chester lines up at tight end. Marshall Yanda with the pull. And it's just an easy pickup. Watch Yanda, 73, come over there. McLean with a good kick-out block on Carter. And Ray Rice picks up that first down with ease.
3 yards from 100, Ray Rice. Fake to Rice. Flacco throws to Rice, wide open in the flat. And he's out of bounds with a first down at the 12-yard line. And that's the value of Rice, not only leading the team in rushing, but in receiving yards.
That's his first catch of the afternoon. It's about time to get a guy with 73 catches involved in the passing game. Looked like the Steelers did a real good job in the first half shadowing Rice. Totally left him alone on that one.
Jackson of the Rams and Johnson of the Titans, the other two players leading their team in rushing and receiving. And here's Rice through another good hole on that left side. Finally, Lawrence Timmons rides him down inside the 10. Willis McGahee makes his first appearance of the game. He's their touchdown maker when they get inside the 10. It is McGahee, and nose down drives to the 6-yard line, short of the first down by about 3. McGahee, less than 100 carries this year, the former Miami Hurricane. 360 yards to complement Ray Rice, and 9 touchdowns plus 2 receiving, 11 scores for McGahee. Rice watching from the sidelines with 100 yards in the game. It's a very short 5 on 3rd down. Flacco to Heap. Touchdown, Todd Heap. That's twice he's used that body and his basketball skills, ward off the defender William Gay, and come down with a score.
Yeah, Heap is 6'5", Gay 5'10". Split out wide as a wide receiver with his eye on the ball the whole way. Gay with good coverage, but not quite high enough. And Heap's got his second score, 4th touchdown reception last 2 weeks.
And it's quite a compliment to the coaching staff of these Baltimore Ravens to be the highest scoring team in the 3rd quarter in the entire league. That means they're doing some pretty good coaching at halftime and game scheming. They go all the way on the opening drive, and the extra point by Cundiff is good, and the game once again 3 points to Pittsburgh. And Todd Heap, 2 games in a row, 2 touchdowns in each. He pulls the Ravens within 3. Stefan Logan back, the former South Dakota Coyote by way of the BC Lions in the CFL, and Quickster is from the 6-yard line. Those feet are dancing out to the 30, still on his feet, and wrestled down at the 31-yard line. Best in the league in the second half. The Ravens 223 to 103. They've outscored their opponents, and they get a quick 7 here to start the second half today. Roethlisberger comes right back firing, and it is intercepted. Intercepted, and down the sidelines go the Ravens. It's Dominique Foxworth, and he's in the end zone for a touchdown. Oh my, what a turn of events as Dominique Foxworth with a diving interception. Hold on, there are flags down on the return.
Yeah, definitely on the return.
Illegal block in the back. Number 55 of the intercepting team. 10-yard penalty, first down.
That wipes out the touchdown. Terrell Suggs with a block in the back takes 6 points off the board. Trying to get out in front of Foxworth. His 3rd pick in the last 2 games, got 2 against Chicago. He just outfights Santonio Holmes for this catch. And there's the block in the back by Suggs on Heath Miller. That's a good call by the officials, although Dominique Foxworth's not going to like it. Look at this effort by Foxworth going right over the back of Holmes as Holmes was going to the ground. Fans here want pass interference. They're not going to get it.
Oh, in multiples, these Ravens. 4 touchdowns in 2 games for tight end Todd Heap. 3 interceptions in 2 games for cornerback Foxworth. From the 37-yard line, Ray Rice already over the century mark, the first ball carrier against the Steeler defense to accomplish that feat, and he's adding to the total. Brett Kiesel makes the stop. And an injured Steeler, Brett Kiesel, down at the 32-yard line. We'll check on his welfare when we come back. Kiesel left the field under his own power. Seems to be okay. Second down. Flacco off play action. Throwing complete to Mason. A nice low throw, and Mason down to scoop it up for another catch and a first down at the 24.
Yeah, good low throw, but a good quick throw too. After the play fake, really didn't waste any time as Mason was covered by Deshae Townsend. Good timing on that route. And again, the Ravens look so sharp on offense here in the second half.
Quick touchdown with the opening drive, then the interception by Foxworth, the 14th interception last 7 games for Baltimore. This is Rice in a crowd, able to work his way ahead for a yard or two. Second down and 9 for the Ravens. And it's back to Rice. Runs right into a pile. No gain at all. Good work at the line of scrimmage. Nick Eason replacing Brett Kiesel at that defensive end position for Dick LeBeau. And he stacked up the play.
And this will bring up a third down situation. In the second half, Flacco's been red hot, 4 for 4. But this will be a difficult third down conversion for the Ravens.
At this spot, if they don't make it, it would be about a 40-yard field goal to tie it into the tough end. Ball does not carry at all left to right here at Heinz Field. Flag down. So is Flacco. And it's Ike Taylor again coming in from the corner to run him down from the backside.
It looked like there was movement on the offensive line and in the backfield.
Offside. Number 56 of the defense. 5-yard penalty still.
You saw Polamalu reacting to Ziggy Hood, the rookie defensive lineman from Missouri. Offside.
Well, how big is this penalty? Woodley jumped into the neutral zone. Here he is at the right side of the screen.
At the 17-yard line.
And after the sack, that would have been a real long field goal. But now it's third and very manageable.
That was Woodley, 56 off the left side that appeared to jump offside. And Roethlisberger painfully accepting that instead of a fourth down. Now third down. And Flacco throwing to the end zone. It's Heap again. And incomplete. A lot of pushing and shoving as Ryan Mundy, a rookie from West Virginia, there on the coverage.
Yeah, the ball was never in a position where Heap could gather himself and get up in the air. There's the arm bar by Mundy. That should have been called. He has his right arm impeding the progress. And Flacco is punished there by Woodley and Harrison. That could have been called and should have been called pass interference on Mundy.
Now to tie the game, Billy Cundiff from 35 yards out of Sam Cook's hold. It's high enough. It's hooking to the left and does sneak through that left side upright. Stefan Logan, ever dangerous, ready to return Cundiff's kickoff. This one, a very short kick, comes up to one of the up blockers, and it's a big lineman. I think it's Eason, Nick Eason, who fields it and is tackled immediately.
And a flag was just thrown.
Invalid fair catch. Actually, after the fair catch, the runner signaled for his fair catch and ran with the ball. 5-yard penalty.
That's what happens when the big guys like Nick Eason, a defensive tackle at 6'3" and 305, he doesn't have a lot of practice calling that fair catch.
Yeah, he saw the short kickoff, and he may have been just trying to gain his balance with his hands up in the air. What do I do if I catch this one?
It was kind of a woe is me fair catch signal. At the 21-yard line after the penalty, fans don't like that. 10 unanswered points by the Ravens here in the third quarter to tie it at 20. Mendenhall twisting and nothing there at all as Ray Lewis there to submarine and belt him hard as he has so often. He's had over 150 tackles this year, Lewis, leading these Ravens for the 12th time in his 14 All-Pro years.
And if there ever was a game for running backs to one cut and go, this is it. You hesitate against either of these defenses and you're not going to get any yardage.
So Roethlisberger alone in the shotgun spreads him out here on 2nd and 10. Caught by the jersey, and he can't get rid of it. Tried as Trevor Price and Terrell Suggs from each side of the line of scrimmage sandwich Roethlisberger, and that's the 4th sack today and the 17th sack suffered by Roethlisberger in the last 3 games.
Well, what Price does is he'll attack the right side and then go left against the center. That's Justin Hardwick, and the blitz on the outside by Chris Carr also coming. So Greg Madison showing that his team, the defensive coordinator for the Ravens, they can get after the quarterback too.
And that brings up 3rd down and 17 for Roethlisberger. He's looking for something big on this throw. Has time, has to throw into the flat, complete. It's Heath Miller, the tight end, out to the 23. But that brings up 4th down and 8, and the Steelers will have to punt it away. Carr and Walker, the 2 corners, make that last tackle. Chris Carr filling in for the injured Fabian Washington. Carr, mostly a special teamer and kick returner throughout his career, has done some solid work at the corner. And now he's back to return the kick. Boise State star in his day out of Reno, California. He's got room to run here. And the 35 gets a block. And out of bounds at the 50-yard line. And their flags are flying now as there's a skirmish along the sidelines as Carr went out of bounds.
Yeah, Haloti Ngata, tough to hide when you're 6'4", 345.
After the runner went out of bounds, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 92 of the receiving team. 10-yard penalty, 15-yard penalty. 1st down.
Costly mistake.
And when he's like the bowling ball knocking down pins.
And the other thing was is he did it on the Steelers sideline, and no Steeler went up and challenged him.
Wonder why. Well, he's got to be ticketed to the Pro Bowl. He's certainly one of the very best, although that play hurts his team. The Ravens takes it back to the 35-yard line. Flacco to throw. Another flag is down, and Flacco is sacked. Nick Eason comes through. Take that for the fair catch call, says Eason.
Illegal use of hands. Hands to the face. Number 98, defense. 5-yard penalty. Automatic. 1st down.
Well, they're sure calling this a lot. Casey Hampton, as the ball is snapped, he's going to put his hands right in the face of Matt Burke. Right here in the middle of the screen here. Actually, it's the left guard. Actually took the helmet right off of Yanda. Look at Yanda continue to fight without his hat on.
So that negates a sack by the Steelers and gives the Ravens a 1st down out at the 40-yard line. Ray Rice burrows out to the 42-yard line, and Travis Kershke makes the tackle.
You know, that's twice now in this quarter that the Ravens have sacked Flacco, but have had a penalty on both the plays.
O'Neal Cousins, the injured offensive lineman for Baltimore.
Now, this hurts the Ravens offensively, obviously, as Jared Gaither did not suit up today. He's inactive, so I would suspect that Chris Chester would be put in the game.
Tony Mall, number 79, appears to be coming in for Baltimore.
There's Chester on the sidelines. Here is O'Neal Cousins. This is what happens so often. Ron McClain comes in, then from behind it's Hampton falling on his left ankle.
Cousins in considerable pain. It's his leg bent back.
This changes a lot of things for the offensive line. We've seen Chester come in as an extra offensive line a lot in this game, as the Ravens have been very effective running the ball with Ray Rice. Rice with 108 yards on 22 carries. If Cousins can't go, they have to do more shuffling along that offensive line.
It all began with the injury to Jared Gaither, the normal starter at left tackle. So Orr, the right tackle, had to move over to left tackle. Cousins went to right tackle.
Ouch. Oh, that's a tough one. Just doing his job.
Caught up in the wash, and it's just amazing that there aren't more injuries.
Yeah, absolutely. Big bodies, big strong men.
Well, 2nd down and 8 for the Ravens, who have scored 10 here in the 3rd quarter to tie the Steelers. 3.5 minutes to go in the period. Flacco over the middle, complete. And Mason has yet another catch and a 1st down for Baltimore at the 43-yard line. William Gay, who was benched at the start today. Deshae Townsend started for Gay, who's had his problems of late, but Gay now back in as Townsend was having difficulty covering his man.
Yeah, the timing has just been superb for the Ravens passing attack. Flacco getting rid of the ball, and good sharp route by Mason.
Well, the Ravens living up to their reputation as being the best scoring team in the 3rd quarter in the NFL. They have 10 and now back into Pittsburgh territory to the 41-yard line.
So Tony Mall has come into the game for O'Neal Cousins, and on the reception by Derek Mason, they went with an unbalanced line to the left side and basically had Todd Heap playing tackle. He was on line of scrimmage as an eligible receiver, but just one other offensive lineman on that side of the ball as Cousins being checked out on the sidelines.
Just a handful of yards for Mason to hit the 1,000-yard mark for the 8th time in his career. He's over 11,000 total. Here's Ray Rice, and he just bulls his way over a tackler to the 31-yard line and another 1st down. And Ryan Clark coming up to meet Rice, and he took the punishment, did Clark, the tackler.
Yeah, the low man usually wins, and when you're 5'8", you're usually the low man. And Clark coming up to make the tackle did not get down low enough, and Rice just drilled him to pick up the 1st down.
Rice with 119 yards, and the Pittsburgh team with only 38 on the ground. Ray Rice, who spent Christmas Day with the Ray Lewis family, and a prize gift, he said. Ray Lewis gave him a Bible. That was his top holiday gift. I'm trying to give back to his team here, but not now. James Harrison wards him off. No gain, maybe a loss of a yard on the play.
That was really an important tackle by Harrison. Remember, he's playing with a bad bicep. Had trouble sacking Joe Flacco in the 1st quarter, but that was just a real gutty tackle, as it looked like Rice was going to cut inside of Harrison and pick up some big yardage.
You saw Ray Lewis on the sidelines. He's been a mentor to so many of these young players coming through in his 14 years, including Ed Reed, and now Ray Rice. Rice getting a breather. McGahee, the running back. McGahee around the corner. 20, and McGahee is in the end zone for a Baltimore touchdown. Flag down late at the 10-yard line, long after McGahee had crossed the goal line.
Looks like it's coming back, holding against the Ravens.
During the run, holding, number 15. 10-yard penalty, 1st down.
Kelly Washington wearing that puzzled expression.
Yeah, puzzled by, he's asking who caught me. Not that I didn't do it, but who saw it?
Very late flag, though, Dan. It was
thrown. Yeah, it was thrown by the back judge, actually. Here's Washington right here, and as McGahee comes down the sidelines, he's going to reach out and just hug the shoulder pads of Deshae Townsend, and a great job by Townsend to waving his arm to alert the officials. I'm getting held here. Throw the flag, please.
The pity of it all, if you're a Baltimore fan, is that he didn't need the block. That McGahee was going to score anyway. He's way over here. Well, maybe. So Ray Rice is back in, and it's 2nd down and 5. So instead of a touchdown, that becomes just a 5-yard run by McGahee. 20-20, final minute, 3rd quarter, and that's Rice. Boy, is he tough to bring down. They get his helmet and finally get him down. James Ferrier, the tackler, at the 20-yard line. Another 1st down, Baltimore. And as we pointed out at the start of the 2nd half, these Ravens are the toughest in the league. When they have the ball, they outscore the entire NFL in the 3rd quarter, and they've outscored the Steelers by 10 here in this 3rd quarter. What a 3rd quarter for the Baltimore Ravens. 22 plays to only 4. Foxworth interception touchdown called back by penalty. So the Ravens got only 3 out of the interception, and now the run by McGahee negated on a penalty after he ran in from 32 yards out. Ravens still with the ball, and a first down as we open the 4th quarter at the Pittsburgh 20-yard line. 15 minutes, crucial minutes to decide a playoff spot perhaps, as Flacco throws to the end zone. Touch. Oh no, Derek Mason, ever reliable. That was too easy. Right down the bottom of the well.
He did a great job of getting behind Deshae Townsend. In fact, he was so wide open.
Hit him in the helmet.
Hit him in the face mask. I'm not sure he took his eye off the ball. Ball almost hit him in the eye.
Yeah, that's one of the hazards of catching the ball against your body and not out with your hands.
That's a great point, Dick. And that guy's caught a ton of them, too.
All you can do is laugh it off, as the old pro does. Flacco, screen it to Rice. He's got blockers. 20, and then he runs into one of them, and down goes another flag.
You got 2 flags on the play. One thrown at when the ball was snapped, perhaps an illegal formation. And then after the ball was caught by Rice.
Well, that sure looked as if it was going to go longer, didn't it? The way he had that set up. Ben Roethlisberger has cooled his heels on the Steelers sideline. Only 4 plays since halftime.
There are 2 fouls by the offense. Illegal formation, 5 men in the backfield. That penalty will be declined. An eligible man downfield, number 73. That penalty be accepted. 5 yards. Second down.
Marshall Yanda out in the screen, the offensive lineman, too far beyond the line of scrimmage. So the ball comes back to the 26-yard line.
Boy, a couple of really crucial mistakes by the Ravens.
For John Harbaugh, O'Neal Cousins has returned to the offensive line, the starting tackle, so he's okay.
Take a lot of time in the huddle to get this play called. Play clock running down. No time to change the play at the line of scrimmage for Flacco.
3, 2, and he has to call time. That's the second used by the Ravens. 20-20 the score, and the Steeler fans uplifted by the fact that 2 touchdowns by the Ravens have been called back by penalty. And now another penalty positions them at 2nd and 15 at the 26-yard line of this tie game early in the 4th. Flacco, pump fake, goes deep and out of bounds. And we also should add in an Derek Mason touchdown. There's a flag down where Flacco threw the ball. Lamar Woodley, did he hit him late?
This might be against O'Neal
Personal
Cousins.
Foul. Late hit, hitting a player after the play, number 64. 15-yard penalty. Second down.
Wow.
Well, no love lost between these rivals. Here is the penalty on O'Neal Cousins on Woodley. And that's about as cheap as you can get, right in front of the official there, Pete Morelli.
And that's an expensive, a cheap foul, but an expensive one because it takes the Ravens out of field goal range.
And just moments ago, Derek Mason dropped a touchdown catch.
So that's 3 touchdowns here in the second half that have been either negated by penalty or by a drop ball for the Ravens. 30 yards from a first down. Flacco scrambling. And finally throws it away. He got it to the line of scrimmage, no flag.
Great determination by the 3-man rush of the Steelers.
That's Ziggy Hood, the rookie, 96.
And they're saying he was down before he got rid of it. So this is a sack and more lost yardage for the Ravens. They ought to go back to the 3rd quarter when they were invincible.
It remains tied at 20 as the Steelers have benefited from Raven errors. 2 penalty mistakes that cost touchdowns called back, and then normally Reliable veteran receiver Derek Mason, all alone in the end zone, drops an easy touchdown. Sam Cook trying to kick that knuckleball down inside the 15, and it's fair caught by Mewelde Moore. Symbolic, isn't it? The ups and downs of this season and this game. Now the Steelers have it. 20-20. And a one-hopper incomplete to Holmes, thrown by Ben Roethlisberger. As the Steelers ducking a disaster in the last 10 minutes or so, as the Ravens beating themselves. 2 touchdowns denied by penalty and a drop ball by Mason in the end zone. Plus other penalties that took them out of field goal range. So with all the opportunities, they got only 3 points out of those 3 possessions. That's Hines Ward in motion. Scrambling and throwing downfield for Wallace, incomplete. Coverage by Chris Carr. He was fortunate that ball hit him. He had his back to the play. Haven't we seen this over and over again, Dan? You get teams that don't have winning records or out of the playoffs, and they just make it so troublesome for favored teams. 3rd down now for the Steelers, 3rd and 10. Roethlisberger guns over the middle and has a man wide open. Santonio Holmes, and a first down. What a big pickup that is from deep in their own end on 3rd and 10.
That's just the second completion in the second half for Roethlisberger. The Ravens decided to just rush 3. That gave Santonio Holmes room to get open in the zone defense. And then the fastball from Roethlisberger just past Ray Lewis in front of Landry.
21 yards on the play and a big first down out at the 33. Mendenhall tripped up, and he had some room to run outside. Terrell Suggs diving low to make the tackle. There's the AFC North standings, as you saw Cincinnati now in a tie game. 1 game ahead of Baltimore, with Pittsburgh 2 back. And all 3 of those teams, depending on how things shift here in the next game and this quarter, are looking for a playoff ticket. How many will make it? It's in Baltimore's hands if they can win out today and next week. At Oakland, they're in. Roethlisberger, plenty of time, stops, throws, and completes it to Holmes again. And a late flag is thrown after the play.
Yeah, this might be illegal contact against the Ravens.
Prior to the pass, illegal contact, number 59, 5-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
It's one of those bunch routes, a lot of traffic over the middle. Ellerbe, who's playing for Tavares Gooden today, who's out with a groin injury. He gets called for the illegal contact on Heath Miller. Right here is Miller. And that's beyond the 5-yard mark right there. In fact, it's about 10, 12 yards beyond it.
Ellerbe, the free agent rookie from Georgia, playing for Tavares Gooden. That's 88 yards in penalties against Harbaugh's Ravens. Stretch play, Mendenhall cuts back. And good open field tackle by Frank Walker.
Now you got to give a lot of credit to this Raven defense against the run. Greg Madison's group has held the Steelers to under 50 yards rushing. In fact, they only have 41 yards rushing here in the entire ball game.
With Ray Rice, on the other hand, for Baltimore, rushing for 125 yards alone. Veteran Madison. Wiley, veteran coach on the sidelines. Bunch to the left, and then he throws to the right for Holmes, incomplete. Coverage from Dominic Foxworth.
That was a good blitz right up the middle. That kind of sped up Roethlisberger a little bit, got him a little bit off target as he threw it a little bit wide for Holmes.
And Dan, here's another 3rd and long, and that's where Ben's bet at his best.
Yep, 4 out of 9 converting 3rd downs, but If they just rush 3, that really plays into Roethlisberger's hands.
Well, that's how they set up here with 3 down linemen. Actually, only 1 with his 2. Now 3 with their hand on the ground. 3-man rush. Then plenty of time over the middle. No. Pulls it back. Now throws. He's got a man open. And it's incomplete. Mewelde Moore breaking loose down the sidelines, and DeJuan Landry able to get there in time to break it up. Boy, for a moment that looked like a 6.
Well, Landry's playing middle field, and he covers a lot of ground here, coming over and just stripping the ball away from Mewelde Moore. Great play by DeJuan Landry.
Oh, he did cover center field, didn't he? Here's the punt by the left-footed kicker Sepulveda. Carr at the 20-yard line. Uh-oh, for a moment it looked like he had a big avenue. From the 30-yard line, Flacco and the Ravens. So many opportunities lost in the second half after they scored 10 in the third quarter to tie it. They had 2 more chances to score, and then a drop pass as well. And so it remains at 20-20, and Ray Rice continues to churn out yardage for the Baltimore Ravens as we welcome those of you who have been watching NFL action elsewhere on CBS. New England defeating the Jacksonville Jaguars 35-7. So New England's in the playoffs. The Jaguars were in the driver's seat for most of this season, and they lose a tough one today. Here, the Ravens trailed Pittsburgh 20-10 at the half, scored 10 unanswered in the third to tie it, and then had 2 touchdowns called back by penalty, and Derek Mason dropped a touchdown pass in the end zone. And so it remains tied at 20. Over the middle, Flacco complete, and Mason catches this one, then drops the ball. Is it ruled a fumble? No. Incomplete pass, and Mason shaken by the hit. Flag down again.
It's going to be holding against the Ravens.
And that'll take them over 100 yards and penalties in this game. And Mason wounded on that hit. He was really clobbered.
Number 73, offense. 10-yard penalty, second down.
So the self-destruction continues for Baltimore.
Yeah, this is crazy. They played such a perfect quarter in the third quarter. Let's go back to the hit on Derek Mason, as it appears he makes the catch here, takes 2 steps, and then has the ball knocked out. I think that's a fumble.
From that angle, it certainly appeared to be.
There's possession, 2 steps, ball comes out. That's a fumble. Ryan Clark picked it up.
Mike Tomlin, the coach of the Steelers, watching the big screen at the south end of the stadium, and we'll see if he's going to toss the red challenge flag.
There's possession. There's 1 step, 2 steps, and then the ball comes out, ruled incomplete on the field.
And meanwhile, Mason continues to draw the training attention there as he's finally in a seated position, and see Ike Taylor there. Respect for Mason, a great veteran. Boy, what a rough second half. He had 5 yards open in the end zone, a touchdown pass that went right off his helmet. And now this injury, trying to make a big catch into the teeth of the defense.
How about Lawrence Timmons being almost 20 yards down the field from his linebacker spot to combine with Tyrone Carter on that big hit on Derek Mason.
Meanwhile, Harbaugh is having difficulty understanding the rash of penalties his team is committing here in the second half. Another one takes them back to the 24-yard line. Brings up 2nd and long for Flacco. 98 yards total in penalties. Ray Rice spinning forward to the 31-yard line. 3rd and 9. Under the noise in Pittsburgh. Flacco hit from behind, and down he goes. Ziggy Hood, Evander Ziggy Hood, his first NFL sack.
Well, in the game 1, Flacco was sacked 5 times by the Steelers. This is just the 2nd sack of the afternoon for Pittsburgh. 96 is Hood. Good job of hanging onto the ball by Flacco as Hood comes from the blind side. Hood will learn to try to strip that ball as he's coming in.
So Sam Cook in to punt for Baltimore. Stephon Logan back. Good high boot. Logan to the 19. Boy, he is clever. How quick are those feet? 9 minutes, 3 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter, tied at 20. These two teams battling for a possible playoff spot. Mendenhall behind Ben Roethlisberger. Mendenhall. And the delay. Good blocking out in front. And he travels a 7-yard gain out to the 43-yard line. This is a Pittsburgh team that ran out to 6-2, had won 5 in a row and then lost 5 in a row, all by close scores. And then the miracle win to stay alive last week, 37-36 against Green Bay. Roethlisberger low over the middle to Holmes, and Santonio couldn't scrape it up. Roethlisberger over the middle, complete, first down. And that's the first catch of the year by Tyler Grisham, the rookie from Clemson. He just activated off the practice squad.
Yeah, doing a nice job of working over the middle, number 19 against Chris Carr. That's a heck of a way to get your first catch in such an important game for Pittsburgh.
Good news we're receiving from the Ravens sidelines that Derek Mason is going to come back into the game next time Baltimore has the ball. First down, Pittsburgh at the 43. They bunch 4 receivers to the right and then throw left to Holmes. 30, 20, and down at the 19. Zbikowski made the tackle.
Got away from Dominic Foxworth. Man-to-man coverage on the weak side. You talked about the 4 receivers to the strong side. Bad angle taken by Foxworth as he went outside in. And then Santonio Holmes with the speed down the sidelines. They might be, they should have called this hit on Zbikowski as he throws a forearm to the side of the head of Holmes.
24 yards for Holmes. He's had a big day, Santonio. 3 catches over 20 yards. And a total of 86 on 5, and a flag down before the snap.
False start, number 674, offense. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Right tackle Willie Colon.
Boy, the penalties, the mistakes, the mental errors in this game, kind of mind-boggling when you think of what's on the line here. So many points given up, so many big plays, sacks, penalties have wiped out a lot of big plays on both sides.
Joe Flacco, relaxed state on the bench there with Todd Heap, who's caught 4 touchdowns from Flacco in 2 games. Big Ben surveys, pumps, now throws it away. Just over 6 minutes left. Mendenhall, the running back, and he gets the call. Cuts back inside, breaks a tackle to the 20-yard line. It'll be 3rd and long for the Steelers. Again, the wild card picture. These two teams battling to get to the party. Baltimore and Denver with the advantage starting today, and then the 5 teams at 7-7. Although Jacksonville has already lost and Miami was losing big, Houston appears to be the team to watch. They're the one team that has the big advantage over the Steelers in head-to-head should Pittsburgh win today. Mewaldy Moore now in the backfield with Roethlisberger. The quick throw over the middle, dropped by the rookie Tyler Grisham. It was in his hands, and Grisham unable to pull it in. He may not have gotten the first down, but it would have been close. So out comes the field goal unit. It'll be up to the right leg of Jeff Reed.
Mike Tomlin went right to Grisham after that dropped pass. And I'm sure he said, catch the ball before you run with it, son.
38-yard field goal attempt by Reed to give the Steelers the lead at the 5.5-minute mark. And Reed booms it through, and Pittsburgh owns the lead, 23-20. Roethlisberger in the The Steelers have lost 5 different times this year. Pittsburgh has lost, including to Baltimore, by just 3 points. 5 games lost by just 3. They lead by 3 now. Plenty of time. The Ravens, however, have used 2 of their timeouts at the line of scrimmage. Couldn't get a play off, so they have but 1 to spend. Jalen Parmalee, second-year runner from Toledo, is back to return.
And Parmalee's done a good job returning kickoffs for the Ravens, especially here in the second half. He's gotten the ball out past the 30-yard line a couple of times.
Here's the kick by Reed. Spins it down to the 3. Former Toledo Rocket. And he does just that. Rockets down the sidelines all the way to midfield before Jeff Reed, the kicker, can bump him out of bounds. And plenty of hugs from his teammates to Parmalee gives Baltimore great field position.
Yeah, great job on the special team. Zbikowski, 28, is going to lead, make the key block on Ike Taylor right there. And then Reed's got to come over and push Parmalee out of bounds. What a great return all the way into Steeler territory. And now if the Ravens can quit being their own worst enemy here, they might be able to get in, do some business, get in the end zone with a lot of time, or at least get a tying field goal. But they got to quit making mistakes.
48 yards on that return by Parmalee to the 49 of Pittsburgh. 5:17 to go, and Ray Rice noses low under the defensive pressure for about 3. James Ferrier credited with the tackle, and Ray Rice with 139 yards rushing against a team that had not given up a 100-yard rusher in 32 games.
Yeah, he's done such a great job between the tackles too, making the first guy miss and then punishing the second guy. Big day for Rice.
Only 22 years young, youngest on the Baltimore roster. Second year out of Rutgers. He gets a breather. McLean now the running back, as he was used much of last year. Quick throw is to Mason back in the game. Tackled immediately. Forward progress will be spotted. I believe he'll have the first down.
Yeah, he went right to the necessary yardage. In fact, he went about a yard farther than he needed to get the first down. So when he's hit after the catch and thrown back by Townsend, it's a first down for Baltimore. That's the veteran type of play you expect out of Derek Mason, and you know he wants to bounce back after dropping that touchdown pass from Flacco.
Mason today with his catches, over 11,000 yards in his career, over 1,000 yards this season, the 8th time. On first down, it's McLean, and he stumbles forward for a couple of yards. The Ravens need more yardage to really ensure a possible field goal. They're not thinking 3, they're thinking more. But at this point, it'd be a very difficult chance in this stadium by Cundiff, one of the toughest stadiums in the NFL in which to kick a long field goal. On second and long, it's Rice back in the game, but not much there as he burrows to the 35-yard line. Lamar Woodley, the tackler, and there's Billy Cundiff, his longest this year since joining the Ravens, 46 yards. He had one 56 yards back in Dallas, but that was 4 years ago.
He tied the game with a 24-yard field goal in game 1, and then he won it with a 29-yard field goal in overtime. So he's used to the pressure.
Time chewing away. 2:45, 2:44 left. 3rd and 7. Flacco sacked at the 40-yard line by Lamar Woodley.
And you can forget about a field goal try from this far, I would think. Woodley, right side of the screen, working on O'Neal Cousins. Remember, Cousins was hurt earlier. Great spin move by Woodley as he comes to the inside to bring down Flacco.
Steelers have called timeout with 2:34 left. That for Lamar Woodley, his first sack today. He has 10.5 this year, as he's complimented James Harrison on the other side. The two of them both in double figures in sacks. It's kind of amazing that this Pittsburgh team, second in the league with 40 sacks starting today, and yet only 8 interceptions. And they still don't have an interception by a cornerback the entire season.
Flacco did a good job not forcing that ball and forcing the potential interception.
So 4th and 10 for the Ravens, and John Harbaugh going for it with only 2:34 left. And he has just one timeout. Well, this critical game, heated rivals Baltimore and Pittsburgh may come down to this play, 4th and 10, and Flacco hit, ball bobbled around, and finally picked off by Ziggy Hood.
It was Woodley again from the outside, getting the pressure, getting the sack, forcing the fumble, and Hood picks it out of the air. And that could do it for the Ravens today against the Steelers. With just one timeout, 2:26 to go, and the Steelers with the ball.
Now Ray Lewis and the defense will have to come up with something really special now, because Baltimore has lost its advantage. They've dropped a touchdown pass. They've had 2 touchdowns called back by penalty, and here comes the pressure.
Yeah, Woodley just too much for O'Neal Cousins. You wonder about the leg injury to Cousin. Looks like he's got his left knee wrapped up. There's the big hit. Ball bounces off the hat of Matt Burke, and there's Ziggy with the fumble recovery.
Oh, his first sack as a pro, and now his first interception. With the 2-minute warning coming up, plus 1 timeout to use for Baltimore, as they give us to Mendenhall. They try to tackle the ball, and they've got one of the best ever at doing that, Ray Lewis. There's the final timeout for the Ravens. So those 2 they had to use earlier in the half come back to haunt them here in this situation. And now it's the Steelers, a miracle win last week for the defending Super Bowl champs. 37-36, 19-yard touchdown, final play, and now they're in control here with 2:23 left. They'll run it again. Mendenhall securing the ball, tackled at the 40. The clock will run down to the 2-minute warning. Kelly Gregg made the tackle, so it'll be 3rd down and long when we come back after the 2-minute warning. 3rd down 11, and Roethlisberger's going to pass for it. Caught from behind, gets away. Typical Big Ben, and now he's going to throw long down the field for Wallace. Intercepted. Zbikowski circling the field at the 30. Flags are down. He's to the 50. Still on his feet. The former Notre Dame star to the 42. Now let's see what the call is. Another big yellow flag against whom? Against Baltimore.
Yeah,
oh
holding.
My.
It was holding in the secondary. Zbikowski with a great pick and return is going to be negated one more time. A huge play by Baltimore, wiped out by a penalty.
You know, there's a case where he should have batted it down.
Illegal contact. Number 41 defense. 5-yard penalty, automatic, 1st down.
Well, it wouldn't have mattered that call before the ball's thrown. And another penalty that just is a dagger to Harbaugh and the Ravens. They had stopped. They had been Roethlisberger trapped. He got away, makes the throw, and even though it's intercepted, the Ravens get the penalty on a 1st down, which all but secures the win.
Ruling on the field was stand. Illegal contact. Defense.
That's a good call on Frank Walker. Heads up by Wallace going deep, and good job by Zbikowski. 10 penalties accepted today against Baltimore for over 100 yards.
And in the second half, after battling from behind 20-10 at halftime to tie it at 20, just a rash of errors from the Ravens and 2 penalties that cost them touchdowns. And now it's just a couple of knees by Big Ben, and the Steelers almost pronounced out. The defending Super Bowl champions going 6-7, win on the last play of the game a week ago, 37-36 against Green Bay, and they were down and in trouble at 20-20, and the Ravens having all the momentum today in the second half, but Baltimore way too generous in the errors committed, including that man who's been Mr. Reliable, Derek Mason, dropping a wide open touchdown pass in the end zone.
And if you go back to the penalty, the play on Roethlisberger by Trevor Price. Price was in on Roethlisberger.
gave him the chop to try to knock the ball out, cause a fumble, but Big Ben so strong, spun away from another tackle, and that extended the play where they get the penalty on Frank Walker for illegal contact.
And with 57 seconds, another kneel down, and they'll do it one more time, and Mike Tomlin's team will move into an 8-7 tie with Baltimore, but they've split their 2 games this year, and it'll come down to the final week of the season. There's the chance for Price. Even if he makes the tackle there, he's going to force the punting team on the field.
And there's the hold against Frank Walker on the outside, illegal contact. Oh, what might have been for Baltimore. They played such a perfect third quarter, offensively and defensively. The Steelers could only run 4 plays offensively in that third quarter.
The King is still alive. The Pittsburgh Steelers have won again, 23-20.